wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. How was that shit? Okay, so how to deal with the YouTube comment section trolls, because we know they come out in flocks. They come out on my videos, they come out on anybody's videos. It don't matter if you are doing a toy review channel, it don't matter if you're a Christian channel, it don't matter what you're doing. The trolls come, they flock to whatever their little niche is, because trolls always have a niche. So I'm gonna tell you my qualifications as a troll eater. I'm gonna call myself a self-proclaimed troll eater, and I'm gonna tell you how to deal with the trolls, and I'm gonna tell you their techniques. I'm gonna tell you a little about their psychology. I'm gonna give you a little window into me. Okay, so what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna start by talking about love, because every decision we make in life is either fear-based or it's love-based. We're either feeding the love, we're nurturing that, or we're pandering to the fear and we're cowarding to the fear. So for me, as a reminder of this, my allergies have been really bad, by the way. So if I cough a couple times, let me just throw one out the way now. That's why. It's monsoon season's here, and everything is like bloom, 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 like before they run out of rain. So it's the end of monsoon seasons. Anyways, love or fear. We all have a choice. We all get to make a choice if we're feeding love or we're feeding fear. So for myself, I try to keep reminders in my life about love. I have rose quartz. I have a raw piece of rose quartz, and I have a sphere. And I like them both. The raw one reminds me more of nature, and the round one reminds me more of what humans can do, and it feels nice to hold and feel closer to. So I keep them next to my bed when I sleep. And I have this little piece of rose quartz that I sometimes hold and I feel, and it sits next to my computer. So when I'm typing comments, it's there. Sometimes it's with me, sometimes I'm just watching something and going like this with it and spinning it. But so I try to remind myself love. I always choose love first. Then I also have things that ground me a little bit. I have this piece of hematite, which I actually found myself in a dry riverbed. Then I have jasper. Another nice grounding. This one's really cool because it's actually red and yellow jasper. And then this one's primarily just a beautiful piece of red jasper. We have the biggest gem and mineral show in the country here in Tucson, so I get to check out some cool stuff like that. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the trolls at this point and what motivates them. So trolls, you know, the expression "don't feed the trolls" is accurate. They are dying. They think of something. They think of something that's going to trigger people, and they type it out, and they're all proud of themselves and they're all excited, and they know somebody's out there and they're going to see it and they're going to be triggered, and they're going to feed off of that energy. So they're waiting for a response. They're like, it's like when you're watching a show and you're just on the edge of your seat waiting to find out what's going to happen. They're waiting. I mean, they are waiting for that notification, and they may be cast out lines wherever, YouTube, Facebook, wherever they're doing their trolling, and then they come back to see what they caught. And by caught, I mean who responded to their comment. And then they get excited and they and they type out another comment. And it's always very, you know, it's all kind of weak thinking. It's all lazy thinking. It's poorly researched usually. It's rooted in opinion, and they're trying to get a reaction. Now, they will be, when they go and check somewhere and they see that they don't have a response, they're like, it didn't work. And you know, it lets them know that people just saw through them. They're not biting. They're not taking the bait. They're not going for it. They don't want nothing to do with it. You know, I have a couple trolls that are always in my comment section, and they're not doing anything to help anybody. They're not doing anything for the community. They kind of go off of this like righteous, like, oh, I'm trying to, like they're trying to do good and they're trying to warn people, or they're trying to, you know, whatever, a message, but they would put their face to it if that was what they were actually doing. I'm showing myself to you. I want us to have open communication. And I'm trying to interact with the people that I care about in this world, my subscribers, and anybody who's seeking information, anybody who is trying to follow a path of light and love and growth and self-exploration and self-realization and step into that place. So if these people were actually willing to put out video responses or something, I mean, we could have a little bit more respect for it, but they're not. So here's my qualifications. Here's how you deal with the trolls. I consider myself a professional troll, okay? But let's call me an ethical troll. A troll really is just trying to get a response from people. So, like, I am a member of the 419 Eaters. 419 is the country code for Nigeria, where a lot of the scammers come from. And everybody's gotten the emails, right? So 419 Eaters would basically, you just put something out there, whatever it is, you're just going about your daily life. They find you. And 419 Eaters... it basically, you just find a scammer and you just eat up their time so that they can't scam somebody else. You keep stalling them. You essentially scam the scammer. And for me, it's an outlet. It's an outlet so that I'm not bantering with friends who don't like that type of banter, because I love to engage in deep, crazy conversations, and I seem like I'm arguing, but I'm not most of the time. I'm just trying to actually interact and gather information and so on. So so that's one thing. Facebook is another one. Sometimes I would, back when I had Facebook, many years ago, I would be in groups that catered towards particular types that really enjoy trolling, if you will. So I would engage in a lot of those groups that it was pretty common knowledge that everybody was sort of trolling each other. And, you know, we would go back and forth and you'd sort of have a sparring. So for me, it keeps my mind fresh, and it's a little verbal sparring. If you read my comments to people, you'll see how I deal with the troll. They're always looking to get a reaction. They're always trying to tap into your emotion, and they're always trying to get something out of that. So what you essentially do, like I had somebody say that because I do interracial videos, that I saw myself as, like, I don't remember, like a white Jesus for you know, black women and blah 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 blah. Well, he was trying to get me to defend myself. And you have to remember something. There is no defending yourself against a troll. They don't care. They're not interested in logic. They're not interested in reason. You're not dealing with somebody that's on the same level as you, where you can play a fair game and have a fair interaction and dialogue. So what I ended up doing in that case, I'm not going to defend myself because there's nothing to defend. Like, I know what my motives are. They do not. So I just simply say, thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment a lot. And I responded with something. I instead of perceiving what they've said the way they wanted, I just flipped it and perceived it the way I wanted to perceive it, and perceived it the way that was accurate to how I see myself. Remember, a troll's perception of you is not somebody else's perception of you is not your reality of you. So the reality of who you are isn't founded in how somebody else perceives you. So to give you a further idea of what I'm all about, because sometimes you just need a loud voice. Well, let me say this first. Because we as a community can always address this together. So I want to say this to my subscribers. I have started doing the weak-minded lazy thinking, WMLT. So if anybody sees any comments down there from trolls, and I'm all about having open dialogue. So I'm not talking about somebody who just disagrees with you. I'm talking about the people that start calling names and slurs and pointing fingers and saying stuff's about race, or saying something's about a fetish, or saying something's about this or that. Or I'm talking about the people that are actually weak-minded lazy thinkers, not people that have a different viewpoint from ours. So when we see them, let's all shut them down together. Let's work together as a family, because I make videos to get things off of my chest, but I make them for you as well. And you watching them gives me something. So this is an exchange between you and I. So let's shut them down together. Let's just say WMLT, WMLT, weak-minded lazy thinking, because they're not saying anything new. They're just not. And to give you a little bit more insight into me, because I do try to always embrace the love, I try to always embrace the light, but it doesn't always work that way. There are people that just have nefarious intentions. There are people that are just not good people. There are people that are not kind people. So to go with my love, and I said this in other videos, but and my grounding, I like things in twos. I needed copper, and I've said this in another video, but my copper is in the form of bullets. So got some bullets. Bullets. I didn't know how much copper. I just read that like you should have copper. So I figure like that's 800 bullets. That's like a fair amount of copper, right? And sometimes like people are just shitty people, and they're just bad people. So you need a little gun. Sometimes you just need a little gun in life. Just a little one. Sometimes a little one is not quite loud enough. I mean, you can't love somebody out of your house if they're breaking in. You can't love somebody out of your, like, you can't love somebody out of killing you if they have bad intentions. So then you need a bigger gun. Because that's an unmistakable sound. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. You hear that sound, you're jumping out a window to get the fuck away from it. So always love, but I kind of call myself a Buddhist warrior, and that's, again, my own self-proclaimed. I'm always going to try to send a message of love, but you can't always. So sometimes you got to shut people down with your wit and your wisdom. You got to not fall for their traps. You got to not fall for their bullshit. You got to not feed the trolls, and we just got to let these people know they're weak-minded, they're lazy thinking, and it's not working on us. So thank you to everybody who watches, and as always, I say it all the time, feel free to troll down here, feel free to troll these comments, because we're going to get you, and feel free to share any thoughts you have. If you're anti-gun, you're welcome to say it. I would take no offense in the world. And if you're anti-crystal, I would think that was weird, but it doesn't have to be your thing, so I get that as well. And if you have any additional tips, put them down there. Peace out.